What's up, music lovers? Thanks for clicking on my channel. Death is such an interesting band because not only did they invent death metal, but they've redefined it and pushed it into more progressive territory. And depending on your taste, you might have a preference for their later stuff or their early stuff, and I'm pretty sure that that will show in my ranking. I feel like no matter how I rank my top 20 best death songs, there's going to be people telling me that I messed up, so I figured just screw it, let's go for it. These videos aren't meant to be taken super seriously, they're just an excuse to talk about some amazing bands. But before we get into it, if you like hard rock, heavy metal, progressive rock, music in general, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all of that YouTube stuff. And with that out of the way, let's just get into it and start talking about some Death. Death the band, not... you know what I meant. Coming in at number 20 is Pull the Plug from Leprosy. You have a legendary intro riff, and all in all, this is probably one of Death's more progressive songs from their early albums. But it's also incredibly harsh and memorable. Chuck's scream at around 2 minutes 10 seconds into the song is absolutely bone-chilling. And all in all, this is probably my favorite track from Leprosy. Coming in at 19 is Spiritual Healing from Spiritual Healing. There were so many songs from this album that almost made it onto the list. In the end, I felt like the title track was the best of the bunch. The tapping in the guitar intro, the off-kilter verse riff, the way that the song is at a slower tempo, but then when you get to the chorus, it just speeds up. All of that's great. Plus, Chuck's lyrics are still, sadly, very relevant. Coming at number 18 is Zombie Ritual from Scream Bloody Gore. And this is when I have people telling me I'm an idiot for having the song so low in the list, but Zombie Ritual is one of the most raw, abrasive, and just pure death metal songs from Death. As the rest of this list will show, I'm a much bigger fan of their later work, but Zombie Ritual is still a shining example of Death in their early years at their most brutally repugnant. Coming in at number 17 is Destiny from Individual Thought Patterns. The acoustic intro of this song with the synthesizers in the background is so good. When the main riff kicks in, the fact that the drums are leaving a lot of space in the pattern makes this song feel a bit different than most Death songs. It has an incredible solo, and I love the guitar leads in the pre-chorus. They're very reminiscent of the synths in the beginning, and I always love that kind of continuity in a song. Coming in at number 16 is Lack of Comprehension from Human. Another song with a bit of a subversive intro that catches you off guard right before it just hits you with pure insanity when the main riff comes in. I adore the clean guitar tone in the beginning of the song, and Sean Reinhart was an absolute monster of a drummer. His drumming on this album is just absolutely insane. And especially in a band like Death that has had a lot of amazing drummers, Sean Reinhart is still one that really left his mark, and he was taken too soon, so rest in peace. Coming in at number 15 is Spirit Crusher from The Sound of Perseverance. Hey, someone wrote a song about going into work. It's pretty metal. The bass intro to the song is so good, and it always kind of reminded me a little bit of Five Magics by Megadeth. This song and this album have so many great riffs. I mean, just got riffs for days, but the one at 1 minute and 20 seconds into this song, the big, giant Black Sabbath-esque riff, is one of the best ones that Chuck ever wrote. Then he tops it again at 2 minutes and 25 seconds into the song with the post-chorus riff. How many times can I say riff in one sentence? And maybe I shouldn't have started a channel where I talk about metal if I am opposed to saying the word riff. Coming at number 14 is Flattening of Emotions from Human. Sean Reinhart once again just showing why he was an absolute monster. The first song on Human, and you're immediately hit by how much Death has improved as a band and how they have just taken their sound to the next level. The production is way better than Spiritual Healing or any of their previous albums. You also have a lot of jazz fusion influences in the writing. Human was the start of them reinventing their sound, and they chose Flattening of Emotions to be the very first thing you'd hear from it. So I think that says something about the quality of the song. Plus, the guitar solo is at 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. Coming in at 13 is Zero Tolerance from Symbolic. This isn't going to be the last song from Symbolic on this list, and where do I even start with this song? It's so good. It's another Death song where the guitar parts have a bit more space in them so that when they do come in for those stabs, they have a bit more bite and sound a bit more vicious. Even by Death standards, this song has a really menacing quality to it that I absolutely love. When the guitar part does slam into those fast 16th note riffs for the guitar solo, Gene Hoglan still decides to leave a bit of space in the drum beat, and little subtle things like that make Zero Tolerance stand out. Coming in at number 12 is Story to Tell from The Sound of Perseverance. Wow, another song with a great guitar intro. Who would have thought? Story to Tell always reminded me of just classic 80s metal bands like Merciful Fate, Judas Priest, Fate's Warning, but interpreted through the lens of a death metal band. The counter melody on the guitar during the chorus is just absolutely incredible, and there might be more technical songs by Death, but Story to Tell is just really well written. Coming in at number 11 is Individual Thought Patterns from Individual Thought Patterns. God, I love that harmonized guitar intro with those stabs from the drums. The bass and the drums for the verse of this song give it a bit more bounce than you typically hear when you're listening to Death, and I absolutely adore the bass lines in the chorus. Also, during the guitar solo, the way that the rest of the band is just hitting together and then stopping and then hitting together and stopping is just god-tier musicianship. Individual Thought Patterns. Coming in at number 10 is Voice of the Soul from The Sound of Perseverance. Whoever said death metal can't be beautiful? Probably a lot of people, but here's the counter argument to that. Chuck was just as good on the acoustic guitar as he is on the electric, and the fact that there's so much going on in this song but it never feels overwhelming is just a testament to how good he was at arranging the different parts and just how good of a composer he was. Those distorted, harmonized guitar swells feel like they are just coming from the core of Chuck's being, and we get to listen to it, so how awesome is that? Voice of the Soul is a perfect name for the song because it is one of the best examples of how emotive and beautiful music on its own can be. Coming in at number 9 is A Thousand Eyes from Symbolic. I love these lyrics, they're very Orwellian, and the riff for the intro of this song has such a tribalistic feel to it. I love the lead lines in the chorus, and for the bridge you get this slowed down, pummeling, chunky riff with these absolutely amazing pinch harmonics. Fucking nice. Coming in at number 8 is To Forgive Is to Suffer from The Sound of Perseverance. Richard Christie's drum intro for that song, Jesus Christ, it's so chaotic. It's controlled chaos. It sounds like he's just absolutely going for it and he's barely holding on, but he somehow manages to pull it off. The song is also very melodic, and the lead guitar lines in the intro, which are playing what would be the melody later on, almost have a power metal vibe to them. I also love the really abrupt changes in the verse, where you start off with this very melodic lead guitar playing and then you're just hit with this super thrashy riff out of nowhere. Also, I think these are some of Chuck's best lyrics, and they're pretty relatable, so yeah, To Forgive Is to Suffer. Really good. Coming in at number 7 is Misanthrope from Symbolic. Everything about this song is just pure pummeling brutality. The bass in the intro sounds so metallic and lumbering, and as a history nerd, I love that Chuck is referencing Julius Caesar in the lyrics. 2 minutes into the song, you get this genuinely terrifying sounding bridge section that just keeps building anticipation until you go into the excellent guitar solo. Coming in at number 6 is Bite the Pain from The Sound of Perseverance. Everything about this song is beyond badass. First of all, the guitar riff at 42 seconds in might be the chunkiest sounding guitar tone I've ever heard in my life. It's at least a contender. I mean, it's just so thick and biting and pummeling. Chuck's screeching lyrics are so raw and emotionally devastating, and being that this is the second shortest song on the album, it just kicks your ass and leaves you wanting more. Coming in at number 5 is Trapped in a Corner from Individual Thought Patterns. Every time I hear the harmonized intro to this song, I get so pumped. Trapped in a Corner also has what is probably the greatest guitar solo section in any Death song ever, period. Fight me? No, don't really fight me, but come on, the guitar solo in this song is something else. If we were just going off of how good the guitar solos are, Trapped in a Corner would be number 1. Coming in at number 4 is Symbolic from Symbolic. That intro riff and those little bends that they hold out, fuck yeah. Having the main riff be so slow and steady and chugging makes those really out of nowhere changes into the 16th note style riffs just seem way heavier, and the song seamlessly switches between the two kinds of riffs and it never feels forced. There's a lot of dynamic shifts in the song while it's still consistently heavy from beginning to end, and the band doesn't waste a single second with this song. They're always adding something new. Even the change in the drum beat in the last couple seconds of the song as it's fading out, something I always gotta wait for hearing, because I'm just like, yeah, no, hold on, no, don't skip. I know it's fading out in a few seconds, but I gotta hear that change that Gene Hoglan does with the drums because it's freaking amazing. Coming in at number 3 is Scavenger of Human Sorrow from The Sound of Perseverance. Another song with an incredible drum intro, and like all the songs on The Sound of Perseverance, it just has so many heavy and memorable riffs packed into one song. You're like, how can you fit this many good riffs in one song? Chuck, I didn't know this was possible. What are you doing? Seriously, every riff on this song is an 11 out of 10. you hear one, you're like, oh, this is great, and then it changes to another one, it changes feel, it just keeps getting better and better. I know that some people might say that The Sound of Perseverance is a bit overhyped, but for me it's still an easy pick as the best Death album, and songs like Scavenger of Human Sorrow are why. Coming in at number 2 is The Philosopher from Individual Thought Patterns. Hey, check it out, it's Jeremy. He's still running. The opinions of two annoying cartoon douchebags that are making fun of an entire generation, also their target audience, notwithstanding, The Philosopher is a great mixing of the two sides of Death, at least in my opinion. People who prefer the early Death albums can really love the harshness of the riff and Chuck's guttural vocals and just how much he's screaming and belting out, while people who prefer stuff to be a bit more melodic and a bit more progressive will also find a lot to love in The Philosopher. The Philosopher is a great song to hear to just kind of get an opinion of what Death is all about. Coming in at number 1 is Crystal Mountain from Symbolic. This song. Crystal Mountain kicks ass from beginning to end, and it's also really memorable and has something resembling a hook for the chorus, but the structure of the song is also very inventive and off the wall too. From a compositional standpoint, I think that Crystal Mountain is the best thing that Chuck ever wrote. Almost every note you can play on a guitar is played in this song. It almost doesn't have a key, it's kind of atonal, but it still works, and that's just some incredible songwriting right there. There's an acoustic guitar solo in a death metal song. Gene Hoglan is being a beast, as usual. And for a song to have all that but still be very memorable is even more impressive. And this song was the inspiration for Crystal Mountain Records from Metalocalypse, so there's that too. So there you go, those are the top 20 best Death songs, in my opinion, at this particular moment in time. But enough about me. What are your favorite Death songs? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are some heavy-hitting songs that I left off the list? Because I feel like there will be a lot of fans of those first 3 albums that are like, hey, idiot, you missed out all these songs. You don't gotta be rude about it, but let me know, because it's just fun to talk about bands like this with people. So, by the way, I have an instrumental song out called Waking Giant. If you want to check it out, there's a link down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next video.